It began with a quiet discussion held far from the cameras and public ceremonies. A conversation that few were supposed to know about. Yet something about the unusual secrecy surrounding Sandringham caught the attention of royal insiders. When Princess Catherine and Prince William reportedly emerged from that private gathering, with solemn expressions, whispers quickly turned into speculation. Nobody expected that the name at the center of the mystery would be Princess Charlotte. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. At first, those whispers were dismissed as little more than another round of royal gossip. After all, private meetings within the House of Windsor were hardly unusual. But according to reports circulating among palace insiders, this gathering was different. Staff members who normally handled routine arrangements were said to have been kept at a distance. Even some longtime aides reportedly found themselves excluded from conversations involving Prince William and Princess Catherine. The unusual silence only fueled growing curiosity. Something significant was unfolding, and the level of secrecy surrounding it suggested that the matter carried consequences far beyond an ordinary family discussion. According to various royal commentators, attention soon shifted toward a little-known residence connected to the Sandringham estate. Unlike the grand properties that often dominate headlines, this secluded lodge had remained largely outside public awareness for decades. Yet insiders whispered that the property possessed a deeper meaning inside the family. It was not simply a house. It represented history, continuity, and a legacy carefully guarded through generations. Those familiar with royal traditions suggested that Queen Elizabeth II herself had viewed certain properties not as possessions, but as symbols meant to strengthen the future of the monarchy. As speculation intensified, reports emerged that Prince William and Princess Catherine had quietly reviewed confidential family arrangements connected to the estate. The details remained hidden, but royal observers noted the seriousness with which the matter appeared to be handled. Some believed the discussions had roots stretching back many years, possibly tied to plans established long before the late Queen's passing. Others suggested that these arrangements reflected a desire to preserve certain traditions that had survived countless challenges throughout the monarchy's history. Whatever the truth, one thing became impossible to ignore. Princess Charlotte's name had suddenly entered conversations that few had anticipated. Then came another detail that sparked even greater intrigue. As early reports began circulating, observers noticed the absence of one particular name, Archie. For some, that omission immediately raised questions. Why was Princess Charlotte reportedly connected to the mystery surrounding the secluded lodge, while Archie appeared absent from the earliest whispers? Supporters and critics alike began debating possible explanations. Some argued that ancient customs and royal responsibilities could play a role. Others wondered whether hidden decisions made years earlier were finally beginning to surface. With every passing day, the questions multiplied, while answers remained locked behind palace walls. Meanwhile, the expressions seen on the faces of William and Catherine only deepened the mystery. Those close to royal affairs described a couple carrying the weight of responsibility rather than celebration. There was no sense of triumph surrounding the reports, only the unmistakable feeling that something larger was at stake. For them, this appeared to be about far more than property. It was about safeguarding a legacy that had survived wars, scandals, and generations of change. Yet beneath the silence and uncertainty, an even bigger revelation was waiting to emerge, one capable of reshaping assumptions that many had held for years. But what appeared to be a simple inheritance matter would soon reveal a royal arrangement hidden for years beneath layers of tradition and silence. For decades, few outside royal circles even knew the lodge existed. Tucked away within the wider Sandringham estate, the secluded property had remained largely untouched by public attention. Yet according to royal historians and insiders, the modest residence carried significance far greater than its size. It was never just another building. It represented something much deeper within the House of Windsor. As questions surrounding Princess Charlotte's reported connection to the mysterious residence continued to spread, attention slowly shifted away from the headlines and toward the forgotten history hidden beneath Sandringham itself. Those familiar with royal traditions often speak of grand palaces and famous castles, but according to various royal experts, some of the most treasured places within the monarchy are the ones rarely discussed. And among those quiet corners of royal history, few carried as much emotional meaning as this little-known lodge, whose existence had remained almost invisible to the public for long generations. According to royal historians, the property had long been regarded as a sanctuary rather than a symbol of status. Unlike residences associated with state occasions and public life, this secluded retreat reportedly represented privacy, stability, and continuity. It was said to embody values that Queen Elizabeth II herself cherished throughout her reign. While much of the world saw the monarchy through ceremonies and traditions, those closest to the late Queen understood that her deepest priorities often centered on preserving family bonds and protecting legacies that would survive long after her time. Reports suggest that only a small circle within the royal household truly understood the importance attached to the lodge. For years, its significance remained carefully shielded from outside attention. Insiders whispered that discussions concerning the property were treated with extraordinary sensitivity, not because of financial value, but because of what the residence symbolized. To those entrusted with safeguarding royal continuity, the lodge represented something that money alone could never replace. It was a connection between generations, a reminder that history within the House of Windsor was built not only through crowns and titles, but through quiet traditions preserved behind closed doors. As memories of Queen Elizabeth II continued to shape the future of the monarchy, reports began suggesting that the late monarch had expressed personal wishes regarding several cherished family assets. Although much remains the subject of speculation, royal commentators frequently pointed to the Queen's lifelong dedication to continuity and stability. Those values, they argued, influenced many decisions designed to strengthen the institution she spent 70 years protecting. If the whispers surrounding the Sandringham Lodge were true, then the arrangements connected to it may have been established long before recent headlines emerged, forming part of a larger vision carefully crafted across decades. Even more intriguing were claims that previous succession plans had quietly insulated the residence from outside influence. According to palace insiders, certain understandings were allegedly designed to ensure that some family properties remained closely tied to future generations of working royals. Such reports only intensified public fascination. Why had these protections been established? Why had the property remained hidden from widespread attention for so long? And perhaps most importantly, why were old arrangements suddenly becoming relevant now, at a time when the monarchy itself faced profound changes and growing uncertainties? Royal experts increasingly described the estate as something intended not for the present, but for the future. They argued that its true purpose had always been to preserve continuity and provide a sense of permanence for generations yet to come. But, as more whispers emerged and hidden histories slowly came to light, it became increasingly clear that the story surrounding the secluded lodge was far from complete, because beneath decades of secrecy and tradition lay something even more extraordinary, something capable of transforming a quiet inheritance into one of the most controversial royal mysteries in recent memory. But hidden properties often carry hidden conditions, and one particular requirement would change everything. As more details emerged, insiders began pointing toward conditions attached to the lodge, conditions that reportedly limited who could inherit it. Suddenly, what seemed like an ordinary royal asset transformed into a symbol of lineage, duty, and tradition. And that is where the controversy truly began. The deeper royal commentators examined the mystery surrounding the secluded Sandringham Lodge, the clearer it became that the story was no longer about bricks and land. Something far more significant appeared to be hidden beneath decades of silence. According to reports circulating among palace observers, inheritance arrangements connected to the residence may have been established years earlier, perhaps even during a period when Queen Elizabeth II remained focused on safeguarding the institution she had devoted her life to protecting. What had once seemed like harmless speculation was now evolving into a debate capable of dividing opinion both inside and outside royal circles. Various royal experts suggested that restrictions surrounding the lodge were never intended to punish anyone. Instead, they were reportedly designed to preserve continuity and ensure that certain family assets remained closely linked to active royal service. For generations, the monarchy had operated according to principles that often placed duty above personal preference. Those traditions, supporters argued, were never created for popularity. They were created for survival. And according to some historians, many arrangements within the House of Windsor reflected that same philosophy. The crown endured because responsibilities endured, and privileges frequently came hand in hand with obligations. As these reports gained momentum, questions surrounding family traditions began to take center stage. Some commentators argued that customs established centuries earlier continued to influence modern decisions, even in ways the public rarely witnessed. Others insisted that the world had changed and that expectations rooted in another era deserved to be reconsidered. Suddenly, the debate stretched beyond the walls of Sandringham itself. It touched upon larger questions concerning the future of the monarchy and whether tradition should continue to shape decisions in an age increasingly driven by modern values. The emotional weight of the controversy only intensified. Supporters of long-standing royal customs viewed the reported conditions as a reflection of continuity and commitment. Critics questioned whether such arrangements could still be justified in a changing world. Every new theory fueled another wave of discussion. Every unanswered question deepened the mystery. Yet amid the growing noise, one thing remained impossible to ignore. Princess Charlotte's name continued to surface with increasing frequency, while another young royal found himself unexpectedly drawn into a storm he had not created. As attention shifted, comparisons between Charlotte and Archie became unavoidable. Royal commentators debated whether the reports represented historic precedent or changing priorities. Some pointed toward the distinction between active royal responsibilities and private life. Others focused on questions of fairness and modern expectations. What had started as whispers surrounding a hidden residence had evolved into one of the most emotionally charged discussions surrounding the next generation of the royal family. And with every passing day, public fascination grew stronger. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed that even experienced observers had been surprised by the intensity of the reaction. Few had expected a secluded property to ignite such passionate debate. Yet perhaps that was because the lodge itself had never been the true story. The real issue, according to many royal historians, concerned identity, legacy, and the difficult balance between preserving tradition and embracing change. It was a struggle that had haunted monarchies throughout history, and now it appeared to be unfolding once again in the House of Windsor. But while Charlotte's position appeared to strengthen, another name was generating growing headlines for entirely different reasons. The moment reports surfaced suggesting Archie would not be considered, reactions exploded across royal circles. Supporters and critics alike questioned how such a decision could unfold. Yet palace historians insisted the answer might lie not in emotion, but in centuries of royal customs. Almost overnight, what had begun as a mystery surrounding a secluded Sandringham lodge transformed into a debate that reached far beyond the boundaries of a single estate. Conversations that had once been confined to royal commentators suddenly became front-page discussions. Questions emerged from every direction. Why would Archie reportedly be absent from considerations surrounding such an important legacy. Had something changed behind palace walls? Or had the answers existed all along, hidden beneath traditions that most people rarely considered? The uncertainty itself became fuel for growing speculation, and with each passing day, emotions ran higher. According to royal experts, the controversy exposed a much deeper divide between modern expectations and the historic framework that had guided the monarchy for generations. Some argued that family bonds alone should determine such matters. Others insisted that royal responsibilities had always carried unique obligations, and that inheritance within the House of Windsor had often reflected those realities. Historians pointed to examples from previous generations, suggesting that decisions involving royal properties and privileges frequently revolved around service, continuity, and the future needs of the institution, rather than personal feelings. Supporters of that view argued that tradition had never been simple, but it had endured. Still, critics remained unconvinced. They questioned whether principles developed in another century could continue to shape decisions in a rapidly changing world. Public opinion became increasingly divided. Some viewed the reported arrangements as a natural extension of royal precedent. Others saw them as evidence of a system struggling to adapt to modern expectations. What made the debate especially emotional was the fact that it involved two young members of the next generation, neither of whom had chosen the circumstances surrounding their positions. That reality alone intensified public sympathy and ensured that every new rumor attracted even greater attention. Meanwhile, discussions surrounding titles and working royal responsibilities returned to the spotlight. Royal commentators debated whether active service to the crown had always played a role in determining the stewardship of important family assets. Some suggested that such distinctions had existed for centuries. Others argued that changing times demanded changing perspectives. Yet amid the disagreement, one thing became increasingly clear. The mystery surrounding the Sandringham Lodge had become a symbol of a larger struggle between history and modernity, tradition and change, continuity and reinvention. At the center of the growing media storm stood Prince Harry and Meghan. Every development brought renewed scrutiny, with newspapers, commentators, and royal analysts examining every possible implication. Supporters of the Sussexes questioned whether public narratives had unfairly shaped perceptions, while defenders of long-standing customs argued that the institution itself had always been larger than individual preferences. The emotional contrast was impossible to ignore. On one side stood the promise of tradition, on the other stood the expectations of a changing era. And somewhere between those competing visions, the truth remained frustratingly elusive. Yet, even as the headlines multiplied and the arguments intensified, whispers from within royal circles hinted that the entire arrangement might not have originated recently at all. According to some insiders, the roots of the controversy stretched back far further than anyone had imagined. If those whispers proved accurate, then the decisions now generating such fierce debate had not been reactions to present circumstances. They had been part of a plan set in motion years earlier, long before the world even knew there was a mystery to uncover. But behind the headlines, another revelation suggested this arrangement may have been planned much earlier than anyone imagined. Even after her passing, Queen Elizabeth II's influence continues to shape the monarchy. Those familiar with royal traditions have long maintained that many decisions were designed years in advance. And according to emerging whispers, the Sandringham Lodge may have been one of those carefully protected legacies. As speculation surrounding the mysterious property reached new heights, an increasingly powerful belief began taking hold among royal commentators. Perhaps the controversy dominating headlines had not been born in recent months at all. Perhaps its origins stretched back much further, to a time when Queen Elizabeth II was still quietly overseeing the institution she had spent a lifetime protecting. For those who knew her best, The late monarch's greatest priority had never been short-term popularity. It had always been continuity, stability, and above all else, preserving the crown for generations yet to come. Throughout her historic reign, Queen Elizabeth II earned a reputation for thinking far beyond the immediate challenges of the moment. While public attention often focused on ceremonies and state occasions, those close to royal affairs frequently described a monarch who believed deeply in preparing for the future. According to historians, many important decisions inside the House of Windsor were approached with extraordinary patience. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was left to chance. Plans were carefully considered, reviewed, and refined over many years. It was a philosophy that had helped the monarchy navigate crises that might have destroyed weaker institutions. That same philosophy, according to palace insiders, may have influenced the arrangements connected to the Sandringham Lodge. Reports suggested that trusted advisors had long been tasked with preserving sensitive understandings regarding family properties and inheritances. Such matters were rarely discussed publicly. Instead, they were quietly protected behind layers of discretion and tradition. Those entrusted with these responsibilities reportedly understood that their duty extended beyond individual family members. Their mission was to safeguard the institution itself and ensure that future generations inherited not confusion, but stability. As these whispers gained momentum, observers began revisiting Queen Elizabeth's personal approach to legacy. Historians pointed to previous examples where carefully structured inheritances had reflected her commitment to continuity. Time and again, she had demonstrated a preference for gradual transitions and long-term planning rather than sudden change. To many supporters of the monarchy, these qualities represented one of the defining strengths of her reign. Even after her passing, the systems she helped preserve continued to influence decisions unfolding years later. At the same time, conversations surrounding Princess Charlotte grew increasingly emotional. Royal commentators often recalled the special affection reportedly shared between the late Queen and her great-granddaughter. Although much of their relationship remained private, many observers had long noted the warmth and closeness that appeared to exist between them. Some insiders even suggested that Queen Elizabeth saw echoes of previous generations in Charlotte's personality and sense of duty. Whether those claims carried deeper significance remained uncertain, but they added another layer of intrigue to a story already filled with unanswered questions. Yet perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the unfolding mystery was the realization that events happening in the present might have been shaped by decisions made years earlier. If the reports proved accurate, then the controversy surrounding the secluded lodge was not a reaction to modern circumstances. It was the result of plans quietly set in motion long ago by a monarch determined to protect the future. But while some viewed these revelations as evidence of wisdom and foresight, others inside royal circles reportedly saw them very differently. And as the implications became clearer, discomfort and unease began spreading among those who feared what these hidden arrangements might ultimately reveal. But not everyone inside royal circles was reportedly comfortable with what these revelations could mean. Behind the formal smiles and carefully choreographed appearances, insiders claimed tensions were quietly building. As speculation intensified, concerns reportedly spread about how such news might affect family relationships and public perceptions. What had started as whispers now threatened to become a full-scale royal controversy. The more reports surfaced regarding the hidden arrangements surrounding the Sandringham Lodge, the more uneasy the atmosphere inside royal circles allegedly became. According to palace insiders, concern was growing not simply because of the inheritance itself, but because of the emotional and symbolic implications attached to it. For generations, the monarchy had relied upon stability and discretion. Yet now, a story once confined to private discussions had captured the attention of millions. What had been carefully protected through years of silence was suddenly being examined under the relentless glare of public fascination. Royal advisors, according to various commentators, reportedly understood the dangers that accompanied such intense scrutiny. They knew that every headline, every rumor, and every theory had the potential to reshape public perceptions. More importantly, they recognized that stories involving the next generation of the royal family carried enormous emotional weight. The institution had survived scandals before, but preserving its image in an era of endless debate and social media speculation presented a different kind of challenge. Behind closed doors, there were said to be growing discussions about how to navigate the controversy without damaging the delicate balance that held the family together. Meanwhile, media attention surrounding the inheritance mystery reached extraordinary levels. What had begun as quiet whispers among royal observers evolved into one of the most talked about stories in recent memory. Newspapers, commentators, and historians all offered competing interpretations. Some emphasized tradition and continuity. Others questioned whether modern expectations should take precedence over ancient customs. The debate itself seemed to deepen with every passing day. And perhaps that was what worried palace insiders most. Because the issue was no longer confined to a single property. It had become a conversation about identity, fairness, and the future direction of the monarchy itself. At the heart of the growing tension stood a difficult question that few could easily answer. How could the institution honor centuries of tradition while also responding to the expectations of a changing world? Supporters of established customs argued that continuity had always been the foundation upon which the monarchy rested. Critics countered that survival depended upon adaptation. The contrast was striking. One side saw preservation, the other saw progress. And somewhere between those competing visions lay a royal family attempting to maintain unity while facing some of the most sensitive questions of the modern era. As public fascination intensified, speculation surrounding family relationships became impossible to avoid. Every interaction, every appearance, and every silence generated fresh interpretations. Royal commentators openly debated how the controversy might influence the dynamics between different branches of the family. Some feared lasting divisions. Others believed that time and discretion would eventually calm the storm. Yet, even among seasoned observers, there was a growing sense that the story had not yet revealed its most significant chapter. Because according to whispers emerging from those closest to royal traditions, the true reason behind the arrangements surrounding the lodge had little to do with controversy, and everything to do with something far more personal. For beneath the headlines and debates, another mystery remained unanswered. Why had Princess Charlotte's name become so closely connected to this hidden legacy? What was it about the young royal that reportedly inspired such careful planning and extraordinary protection? As speculation mounted and emotions continued to rise, many began to suspect that the answer would prove even more surprising than the inheritance itself. But perhaps the biggest surprise was not who might inherit the lodge, but why Charlotte had reportedly been chosen. Royal experts have often described Princess Charlotte as occupying a uniquely important position within the future of the monarchy. But according to insiders, this latest development may elevate that importance even further. If true, the decision would represent far more than property. It would symbolize trust, continuity, and a carefully protected royal legacy. As questions surrounding the mysterious Sandringham Lodge continued to dominate royal discussions, increasing attention turned toward Princess Charlotte herself. For years, commentators had spoken about her unique place within the next generation of the House of Windsor. Unlike previous eras, modern royal observers frequently highlighted the growing importance of trusted family members whose influence extended beyond titles alone. In that context, many began to wonder whether the reports surrounding the secluded residence reflected something much larger than inheritance. Perhaps they represented a vote of confidence in the future itself. According to royal experts, Princess Charlotte's, it sees public role, has steadily evolved alongside the changing priorities of the monarchy. Though still young, she has often been viewed as an important bridge between tradition and the generations yet to come. Supporters of the institution frequently point to the strength and stability provided throughout history by trusted figures whose contributions helped preserve continuity during periods of uncertainty. They argue that monarchies have survived not simply because of kings and queens, but because of the family members who quietly strengthened the foundation beneath them. And in the eyes of many observers, Charlotte increasingly appeared to embody that principle. What made the reports surrounding the lodge especially intriguing was the symbolic weight attached to the property itself. Historians noted that certain royal residences carried meanings that extended far beyond ownership. They represented memory, continuity, and an unspoken connection between generations. If the whispers surrounding Charlotte proved accurate, then the significance of the arrangement would not lie in material value. Instead, it would rest in the message it conveyed. A message rooted in trust. A message centered on duty. And above all, a message intended to preserve something far greater than any individual member of the family. Analysts increasingly discussed the importance of continuity across generations. They pointed out that successful transitions within the monarchy had often depended on careful planning and the willingness to think decades ahead. Queen Elizabeth II had spent much of her reign focused on preserving stability. Prince William and Princess Catherine, according to those familiar with their approach, appeared equally committed to ensuring that the institution remained strong for the future. In that sense, the reported arrangements surrounding the lodge seemed consistent with a broader vision built upon patience, responsibility, and long-term thinking. Supporters of this perspective viewed the decision not as an act of favoritism, but as part of a continuing effort to safeguard royal heritage. To them, preserving tradition did not mean resisting change. It meant ensuring that the values which had sustained the monarchy for generations continued to endure. Yet even among those who embraced that philosophy, there remained a growing awareness that the controversy surrounding the lodge had uncovered something much deeper. Because beneath every headline, every debate, and every emotional reaction, another truth had slowly begun to emerge. The story had never truly been about walls, gardens, or hidden estates. It had never been about wealth alone. What people were witnessing was something far more profound, a struggle over legacy, a battle between continuity and uncertainty, a quiet but powerful effort to determine what kind of monarchy would be passed to future generations. And as the final pieces of the mystery began falling into place, many realized that the greatest revelation was still waiting to be uncovered. But the final chapter of this story would reveal that the true battle was never about a house. It was about the future of the crown itself. In the end, royal properties have never simply been about bricks and land. They represent history, identity, and the continuity of an institution that has survived for centuries. And as whispers surrounding the secret Sandringham Lodge continue to spread, one thing has become increasingly clear. Legacy often speaks louder than headlines. As the controversy surrounding the secluded lodge slowly evolved into one of the most fascinating royal stories in recent memory, many observers reached the same conclusion. The mystery had never truly been about ownership. It had been about something far more enduring. Throughout history, inheritances inside the House of Windsor have often carried meanings that extended well beyond wealth. They represented responsibility, they symbolized continuity, and perhaps most importantly, they reflected the belief that each generation serves only as a temporary guardian of a legacy that must eventually be passed forward. For centuries, the monarchy has survived wars, crises, scandals, pace, and changing public attitudes. Supporters of the institution frequently point to one defining principle above all others: continuity. Kings and queens may change, but the crown itself endures. According to royal historians, that philosophy has shaped countless decisions over the years. Some arrangements have been understood immediately. Others have remained hidden until circumstances brought them into the light. The whispers surrounding the Sandringham Lodge appeared to fit within that tradition, reminding many that the true strength of the monarchy has always rested upon its ability to think not in years, but in generations. Yet the debate sparked by the story also revealed the tension between tradition and modern expectations. For some, the reported arrangements surrounding the lodge represented wisdom and foresight. For others, they raised difficult questions about fairness and changing values. The contrast itself reflected a challenge that every generation of royals has faced. How does an institution built upon history continue to adapt to the future? There were no easy answers. There never had been. And perhaps that uncertainty explained why the mystery captured the imagination of so many people around the world. At the center of the story stood Princess Charlotte, whose future role within the monarchy had become the subject of increasing interest. Royal commentators frequently spoke of her importance within the next generation and the steady sense of duty that appeared to surround her upbringing. If the reports proved accurate, then the hidden legacy connected to the lodge would represent not privilege, but trust, not entitlement, but responsibility. Supporters of the monarchy argued that such values had always been the foundation upon which the institution survived. Meanwhile, fascination surrounding Archie and the Sussex family showed no signs of fading. Questions continued to circulate. Speculation remained constant. Supporters and critics alike debated what the story truly meant, and whether deeper explanations still remained undiscovered. Through it all, one thing became impossible to ignore. The emotions surrounding the controversy revealed how deeply invested people remained in the path to future of the royal family, and the meaning attached to its traditions. And perhaps that was the most remarkable lesson of all. Because if one hidden lodge could inspire so many questions, how many other untold stories might still exist behind palace walls? How many decisions, understandings, and carefully guarded arrangements had been quietly preserved across generations, waiting for the right moment to emerge? The House of Windsor has always been built upon secrets, traditions, and legacies passed from one era to the next. And as this remarkable story demonstrated, some mysteries never truly disappear. They simply wait for history to reveal them. And as new revelations continue to emerge from behind palace walls, many are beginning to wonder whether this was only the first chapter in a much larger royal mystery. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in next one.